What's up? What's up, K3?
What's up, K3 TV? My name's Loki, and I brought a fellow Viking along today to help me out with this review.
Hi, I'm Ben Thorson, self-proclaimed critic, and we just saw the Northman.
A.K.A. Covert.
A.K.A.
This
Covert.
is Ben Thorson.
Son of Thor.
All right. We're here to review The Northman. We just watched it. He watched it for the second time. I just watched it for the first time. And I loved it, man. So I want to hear first. You guys always hear me talk. I want to hear first what he has to say and see if we can go ahead and riff off of that and talk a little bit about it. Not just about, like, the movie, but, you know, kind of what we liked from it specifically.
Yeah, all I could say is I could not wait to get Loki to see it because for the longest we've been having this shtick of a Thor and Loki brother scenario. And we both came out of it just loving it. And like he said, I saw it a second time and I got to see things I missed in the beginning or the first time I saw. And so it's just such a good movie to see twice. I'm glad I saw it twice in theaters because of the sound. I mean, that movie is loud and gruesome. The chants. There's a lot of good chants and rituals and stuff like that. And seeing witches or whatever you call it.
Yeah, like the seers and all that. Yeah. I didn't get to hear it. Like, I'm pretty sure you went to go watch it in better quality than I did the first time. Because you went to go see it, I'm guessing, like IMAX or something like that.
Day one kind of thing. And that's when they have it in Dolby. And then now it's on the way out, so you get this smaller screen and stock speakers.
Yeah.
But it still worked.
Yeah, I mean, most people are going to be looking at, like, you know, too much of a review till probably it comes out on, like, a streaming service. A streaming service or something like that, because as it is right now, we decided to do this review a little bit late, and it seems like not too many people are keeping it in theaters. I don't think it's necessarily because it was a bad movie. I think it's just like there's been a lot of springtime movies that have kind of pushed it out of the way, and you know, people are looking for that, you know, more glamorous things that they just want to just like mind numb on instead of something that is actually like, is this an A24? Because it's Robert Egger.
No, I don't believe it is.
Okay. But it's Robert Egger, so it's like a serious good movie. It's not like, actually it is actually very, very unapologetically serious.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about that I already kind of mentioned earlier is pretty much this guy pissed me off when I heard him outside of the restrooms. He was talking about how he was expecting it to be very Viking-ish and like true Viking Valhalla type of shit, and that it just wasn't the action that he was thinking about going towards. I thought,
yeah, he wants the mainstream Viking movie, but this really got into a lot of the mythology without overdoing it. You know, not every word, not every time you're on a ship, you're like, oh, there's thunder, like hell, Thor, and you know, there was a lot of talk of Odin, and you know, but mostly in the chants. So there's one great scene where they're psyching themselves up to go take over a fort, and there's talk about Fenrir, there's talk about you know, berserkers, there's talk about, you know, going to Valhalla, so you get a little bit, but it's not over the top, you know.
Yeah, it's very clear and honorable and all that, and respectful to the actual source material. When they're talking about Fenrir, they're talking about it appropriately and how they probably would have recalled it from what we know. Also Freyr, they're like who they're actually praying to, the chieftain.
But there's also enough of it for the fans of mythology. So it opens up on a shot of ships returning to their village, and you see two ravens flying over the ships, which you know are Odin's ravens. And as soon as I saw it the first time, I was like, oh, I already love this movie. I mean, they're just, you know, they're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the king gets home, and he's kind of a dick, but at the same time, people still love him. So are we doing spoilers on this one?
Yeah, from this point forward, we're doing spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you know, we've already given a bit of a synopsis to what it's like. So if you don't want to get anything spoiled, don't watch anything past this point, because we definitely want to go into more details.
But if you have seen it, a lot of the issues in this movie, like anything bad that happens to our main character, is because of a female. And the thing I didn't notice in the first one, or the first time I saw it, was the wife of the king was like, "Where's your brother?" And the king's like, "Don't worry about my brother." But as soon as he gets in there, she has eyes on him, and like, you don't notice it at first, but this whole movie is based off the queen's betrayal of her king, and that makes her son have the want to have vengeance through the whole movie, and so it's all because of the queen. And then I was saying earlier with Loki on the side is that there's another battle scene later in the movie where if our main character who was beating a lot of fools up, if he hadn't have locked eyes on his female, he wouldn't have lost this fight. And so it just feels like, and they even mentioned that women cause a lot of problems when they were seeing the seer the first time.
Well, the female seer, the mystical one, because it does go into like the mystical and all that. So by now you're in the spoiler section. So obviously it goes into the mystical a little bit, but not too much. Like it goes into it, but it goes into it more in the perspective of that's the meaning that the character would have taken from it, right? It's not like that mystical shit ever really actually happened. It's more like...
On that note, as far as mythology, I thought that that the female seer, because that was in the section called In the Land of Rus.
Oh, yeah.
I took that as the Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga, okay.
That's how I took her.
Well, the Baba Yaga is a little bit different than that, but okay. It's like a lot different. It's like in the chicken house and all that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going off of
the Russian
Tomb Raider mythology.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Tomb Raider mythology is not it. But
hey, Russia reminds me of that.
Yeah, Baba Yaga is John Wick, isn't it?
No,
they call him that.
Grandmother. What?
No, they call him the Baba Yaga because Baba Yaga is basically like the Russian boogeyman.
Right.
But it's a boogie woman.
Yeah, boogie woman.
Boogie old woman. A woman that don't boogie no more. If you will.
She done all her boogieing.
She done boogied out. But no, yeah. The whole female aspect, I didn't really catch that too much. I did notice that when he locked eyes with her, I was like, oh man, he just lost focus, you know? He just lost focus. But it also calls back to the part where they're talking about the kin. You got to choose either like love for your kin, for your family, or your vengeance. And he wanted to choose both. And I mean, technically, he kind of did in his own way because he let himself be consumed by his hatred, his vengeance, and all that. But he still has his lineage that is going to be protected because in his eyes, he really thought that there was no way that he was going to be able to live a peaceful life without, or with that hanging over him, or even with the chieftain chasing over him.
Well, that was a good double twist because at first he was willing to give up his vengeance for her.
Mm-hmm.
But then because of how as soon as he like touches her, he can see that she's pregnant. Then he's like,
he licks her blood, technically.
Yeah. So in earlier parts, the kid puts his hand inside the dad and sees the Tree of Kings. And then he, by kissing her wound, sees that she's pregnant with twins. And then he's like, back to the vengeance. Like, I got to protect him.
Yeah. So it's just like really cool dichotomy between protecting your loved ones and facing vengeance. Can it be one and the same? And he thinks it's one and the same. That's why he says both. And like I remember I even like freaking shouted at him in the theater. I was like, that's not how it works. You can't have both. But I can see and empathize with that character that he truly believed that is both, you know, like love for his kin is defending them by taking out the person that he thinks would threaten their kingdom, so to call it. Yeah.
So what did you think about the Draugr scene where he has to go into that old ship and fight the guy?
Dude, I thought that was awesome. I thought that old guy would have been his dad, wouldn't it? Or no, it wouldn't have been his dad. It would have been someone like in his like kingdom before, right? You know what? I didn't think about it. Because there's the Draugr, which if anyone doesn't know, Draugr like undead warrior type of thing. It's pretty much like the zombie in Norse mythology. And you know when he fights him, he's all afraid of like the actual moonlight. He has to be in complete darkness.
I thought the seer part was funny because they were explaining how this sword was made, and then they kind of went into a Lord of the Rings-esque like scene
the
where
forging.
like there's three dudes hammering on one sword.
It seemed like they were trying to make
it a little
them
unnecessary, but
it did seem a little unnecessary. And then they were folding it the wrong way. They were cracking the blade where they would have never like. That's not how you do it. I've been watching a lot of Forged in Fire on YouTube, and that's not how it would have been done. I don't think.
Yeah.
And they made them look like dwarves too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of weird.
It's like they delve too deep.
Yeah.
But I mean that sword. I mean, even he was killing people without even being able to take it out of the sheath.
When he was fucking them up with the sheath, and you know, there's a couple of things there that like I'm pretty sure, like I don't know, I caught it and I called it too when I was like whispering to him since he had already watched it. I didn't mind talking to him throughout the movie, and I was just like, okay, Lake of Fire that he's gonna fight in, blah blah blah, that kind of symbology. I was like, okay, well I know Iceland has a volcano and they show it in the shot, and I was like, that's where he's gonna fight him at the end, right? The volcano at the end. So I called that, and that was pretty cool. And then like they also have like the blade, the night blade. Like, I can see how someone could probably not even understand that. Like, why was he fucking him up with the sheath and not even taking it out of the sword? It's like, nah, like there's some mystical aspects to the movie.
He just straight up couldn't.
He couldn't take it out.
He got captured shortly after that scene, and one of the captors was trying to take it out of the sheath. He couldn't, and that was actually kind of comical. And he just like tossed it to the side.
That was actually pretty cool. And it's like, okay, you're gonna get the blade back because they're not gonna know that it's only at nighttime that you can do it.
And then that led to a bunch of ravens going and freeing him. And then you get a great shot of Odin.
Yeah, dude.
I even fanfare, you know.
Yeah, that fanfare part was looking cool. Like, I even called it right there. Like, right when I saw the ravens, I was like, Odin.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna be fucking Odin. And then right after they actually show Odin, so that's a weird thing in the movie. Like, I don't think it knows like whether it decided to want to be mystical or not. Because I think the only thing that is kind of grounded, that is like, okay, come on, that's a little bit too weird to not just be mystical. Like all the visions and stuff like that, that's okay. The scabbard. That's the only part that I'm like, no, that's actually a thing. Like, the guy could not take out the sword, the Nightblade or whatever. What is it? Was it called Nightblade? It was called
the sword
like
was
blood.
called Draugr.
The sword was called Draugr?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. I thought he was just fighting a Draugr and then.
Yeah, no.
Wait,
the sword
what?
is also called Draugr.
Oh, okay. But
as far as I know,
I don't know. But yeah, him actually the guy, one of the prison guards or like prisoner guards, couldn't take it out of the sheath. I thought that was like the only part that was actually somewhat mystical. And him not being able to, because him not being able to take it out, that could be just him believing in the myth.
No, but there was
someone
also
else.
A scene where the main character, when he went and
but that could just be him. But that could just be him thinking that and like just making himself believe that. But when someone else that doesn't know about the myth also acts upon it, that's when it's like, okay, it is actually mystical.
No, it was absolutely mystical because even they had that shot at the end where the
rest of the movie is in realism.
Yeah, no, but his chick was on the boat and she's now having to sail off by herself and she does this whole chant.
Oh, it's a wind.
And she like
you're right.
She brings all kinds of wind into the sails. No, it was absolutely mystical.
Where's your face? There you go. You got the helmet now.
Other than that,
yeah, no, I guess, but the point that I was trying to make is that I feel like the movie didn't really know whether it was trying to be mystical or grounded in reality, and I think it was trying to like balance both. Because if it was only like the main character that was experiencing the mysticism, then you can just say like he was just a big believer and that's what he was seeing and that's what he believed.
Yeah.
But no, it was some stuff where the ship went faster, the sheets wasn't able to be opened. Yeah. You know, he was able to control the dogs. I forgot about that. He was able to control the dogs.
Yeah.
So was it mystical? Was it not? But
I thought it was a good combination of both.
I thought it was too. That's why I got pissed off at that one guy at the freaking the restroom, because it's like, come on, bro! Like, that was like the best Viking film I think I have ever seen that was faithful to like a Viking feel. You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't a big old all-out war or nothing like that. It was literally just a Viking revenge story.
Yeah, and then can't forget how ripped our main character got. I'm not good with names, but I mean, there's this great scene where he, the
Beowulf.
The berserkers are going wild, and then they raid this fort, and I mean, his dude's stance. I mean, he's just like in the whole movie, he's just leaning forward, just like just a mad dog, and just that. It was almost like a one shot where he jumps off, takes the dude off the horse, and then he's coming through these houses basically, and just taking out guards, and I think it was all in one shot.
It felt like one shot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had like cuts here and there.
Right, but that also that scene reminds me of the guy. There's a guy that gets his nose chopped off by the kid while he's still a kid, but then he runs into him when he's an adult, and he runs a sword through the nostril slot, just all the way through his face. I mean, this movie is graphic. And I'll tell you, it's
pretty graphic.
My girlfriend left at about 3/4 in. She's like, "Yeah, I can't hang with
this."
Really? Yeah. And so I stayed through it all because it's like my jam. But she like took off and just sat in the car for the last quarter of the movie. That's how graphic it is.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I'm desensitized because I didn't really see it like all that bad. But I thought it was like appropriately graphic. Like when the guards get turned into basically Sleipnir, which is like the horse of Odin. That's like the figure that he gets turned into or whatever. How did I get the hat?
I rubbed my nose.
So when they get all dismembered and turned into a certain shape, that's Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse. When that part happened, I was like, okay, that's pretty graphic. But the rest of the movie, like, you see guts, you see all this and that. I guess it's I guess it is pretty graphic.
Yeah, I mean,
but
he did save the sacrificed girl and like took one of the other people and hung him upside down and had his entrails coming down towards like a different lady that was like the one in charge of the sacrifice. And so that's when, you know, they came in and they're like, oh, this god actually chose who he wants to be sacrificed instead of this other girl.
Instead of the other girl.
But then the guy was like, no, my god wouldn't do that.
Which is Freyr.
Yeah, so.
Brother of Freya. But yeah, so I mean, we've rambled on along about this. I think honestly, this is like, I mean, this is going to be very niche because there's not many of these, but I think it's the best Viking revenge story. I can't really say I've seen a better Viking movie.
No.
I think this has got to be the best Viking movie. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments, especially. What do you think, like, just to encapsulate the whole thing and wrap it up?
It's just an epic. I came out the first time just like, that is an epic. I mean, start to finish.
Agreed.
You know, I did say at that final battle that our main character would have won a little bit easier than he did because he was more, you know, younger and been in more battles.
He was wounded
in a shorter amount of time. Oh, that is true. The little kid stabbed him in the back a grip of times.
Yeah, and his mother also stabbed him one or sliced him one time.
Yeah, so he came in a little weak. So that's kind of gladiator-esque, right?
Yeah,
you know,
gladiator-esque, already weak, but he still came out and it was like a double KO. That is very gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about in this movie. So I mean,
and then you got your Star Wars with all the lava in the background. You know, you know.
I have the high ground.
Oh, we got to talk about Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
because Eggers likes to use Willem Dafoe.
Of course he does.
From the lighthouse.
The lighthouse, yeah.
And I mean, he had such a short part, but I mean, it was hilarious because he even called out that, hey, look how the queen is all wet because the brother came in and she wants to give him her cup all quick.
That's
and
true.
And then the brother turned around like, hey, shut up, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you're gonna blow the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
That, actually, you know what? Thinking about it now, yeah, it was like.
So all signs point to they're up to something. But I just, you know, I don't really try to see through the whole. I want to be told the story and then I'll think about it later.
Yeah.
But now the second time I saw it, you see it from right from the beginning that she like locks eyes on him as soon as he gets it. She's even asking where he is before like anything even happens in the movie. Other than that, Willem Dafoe, I believe, was the first seer. Even though he's the jester, I believe he's the first seer.
Well, he was because that's why he was leading the ritual with the kid.
Yeah, and then they have this great scene where the second seer later in the movie has the head of Willem Dafoe, and that was a great shot because they're like, oh, the brother took his tongue out and his eyes, but I recreated him. So he like must have stuck a different tongue in there and put these cool like marble eyes. That was just another great shot. I mean, this movie is nothing but great shots. You know, every frame is a picture or whatever. Painting.
About painting.
Yeah. So that's what this movie is. You know, you got a bunch of great shots.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun watching it, and I had a lot of fun talking about this movie and talking about it with you guys. So
and check out the soundtrack. The soundtrack's online.
Yeah, the soundtrack, yeah. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for taking some time to listen to us ramble a little bit about some Viking stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed Ben Thorson, whatever, Covert Man. That's Covert 909 if you guys want to go ahead and check him out. Hopefully I can get him in for some more reviews and stuff like that. Maybe the next time in 10 years when another good Viking movie comes out. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely like join me down in the comments below. I wanted to discuss this movie a little bit more, and hopefully I'll drag Covert over here.
I'll be over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, Loki and Covert out.
Out.